Hi there, today I'd like to talk to you about Google Forms. One way that I can start a Google form is coming to drive.google.com, going to create, and then find form, and that'll create a new form. The second way I can go to Google Forms is forms.google.com, and that will create a new form. I can see that I'm signed in here and I'm ready to go to create this form. Now what I'd like to do is create the name for my form by clicking the title up here. I'm going to call this one test. You can give it any descriptive name you'd like to so that your student and you know how to get back to it later on. Then I'm going to start creating my questions. What I like to do is make sure that my students give me their first and last name in the form, and you'll see later when we look at the spreadsheet that'll help you know who your responders are for each of the question types. So I create a first name last name question using the text response first each time, and then I go ahead and add an item and start my questions really on the third question. So I'm going to use a multiple choice question this time, and which is not a stage of SAMR. And I can go ahead and add as many choices to this multiple choice as I want to. Augmentation. And I'll go with the traditional 4 this time. I could do add other with multiple choice, and that allows my student to type in their own answer and choose that answer if none of those fit. I'm going to delete that by Xing that out. Now that I've created all the questions that I'd like to on my form, I press done. I can see this is what the form looks like. I can view a live version of this form. I can also see the response sheet here. You'll see the student's answers show up in this spreadsheet as they take it, so it'll show up always first name in this column, last name in this column, and then their answers and responses to the additional questions in each and every column. So as I create more questions, more columns will be filled here. I can also do a couple more things with this form to kind of get a better reading of my students' knowledge. I can make them log in so that they only are able to respond one time. I can also shuffle the question order, so the students' forms will not appear in this order. However, when I see the responses, the response spreadsheet will always appear in this order: first name, last name, and then their responses to the additional questions in that same response order. So that way there's no looking off of a neighbor's Google form. The last feature that I'd like to show you besides some of these limiting features is this new insert feature. So if you've used Google Forms before, there's a new insert feature at the bottom where I can insert an image or a video. I can insert a video from YouTube and then ask my students a question about that tutorial, or I can insert an image that I have on my computer and ask them a question about that particular picture. So maybe I want to ask them a question about natural and unnatural resources. I have a picture that has 4 different items on it, and I can label those and say which one of these is not a natural resource. That might be a really good feature for some of our ELL students, or just when you need a picture inserted into a form. Once I've created this form, I can share it out by going to Send Form, copy and paste that link and email it, or I can simply add my recipients right here and send that form just like I would do with a Google Doc. So that's a brief look at Google Forms to get you started. There's lots more that you can do with these, so dive in and take a look with Google Forms.